Hey guys, welcome to the channel. This is Jerry. Today we are looking at the Fangchengbao Bao5. This is a very different name, as you can imagine. In case you don't know about this particular brand, this is actually a personalized premium brand from BYD. So consider this as a BYD vehicle, and we are hoping this vehicle will be available in overseas market soon. So today we are looking at the Chinese version on the left-hand drive. This is the top spec of the BYD Fangchengbao. Or in another way, you can translate this name as Formula Leopard. In terms of exterior, this is really cool. Look at the design. It's just striking lines, square space, and all that things. Overall, the length of the vehicle is just under 5 meters long, and with a wheelbase of 2.8 meters. So, pretty good sized vehicle. It's not too huge, but it's not too small either. Right at the front, we got cameras, full LED headlights, and they are pixel headlights, so that means they are very premium. We got the Fangchengbao logo at the front, but in overseas market, these may change to a BYD logo. I'm not entirely sure. Everything's quite striking. There's just a lot of designs going on. This pale sort of light blue or green finish color looks amazing. There's a lot of black paddings around the doors, around the wheel arch, things like that. This particular vehicle is optioned to a 20-inch alloys. You can go to 80 tires or you can go to 18-inch tires. Depends on what you like. There are quite a lot of personalization you can do. On this particular vehicle, there is also electric set step. That looks really cool. And this is a proper set step, by the way. In some other models or versions, you may need to option that, but the top spec is available through that. And the C-pillar, just square space, another big Fangchengbao logo again. We have charging port on the right-hand side. I'm not sure if this converted to the right-hand side drive, it will be different. Anyway, this offers fast and slow charge, and it's up to 100 kilowatts fast charging. That's really cool. But this car is not a pure electric vehicle. This is actually a plug-in hybrid vehicle. In BYD fashion, they call this DMO. I'll explain that in the short term when we drive the vehicle. Anyway, at the back, if we open the tailgate, good amount of space. I would say somewhere around 500-600 liters boot space. Very square, easy to go in. The length when you drop the seats to the front seats are about 1.92 meters. So good amount of space for your needs, for your things, if you do go off-road in this sort of vehicle. When you close the doors feels quite heavy, but there's a soft touch over here, which is fun. And yeah, so that's the exterior. Looks, again, really cool. Right, let's go to the back seats just to see how it's like. Again, stepping is fairly easy. Door handles are good. This has been my sitting position at the front. I've got tons of legroom, tons of toe room, and tons of headroom overall. There's no shortage of space at all. At the back, you get air vents and charging port, plus heated and cooling function on the outer seats. This particular version is available with that, but for some other versions, you may need to option or do a higher spec. The build quality on this car is absolutely brilliant. Look at the doors, look at the Alcantara finish, look at the leather finish on the top. They are all very premium. This one is also available with the premium speakers. Let's try the door again. Good quality. You can feel the whining noise from the motor on the electric set step. Overall, the fit and finish at the back seats are really good. Panoramic sunroof is also available with this particular spec. There's a lot of square design around doors. I will explain that later, but let's jump to the front seats. Let's look at the dashboard and all that things. First thing, the seats. Very comfy. This one has the Alcantara finish or the suede leather finish, where on the other versions you do get leather finish here and there. Stepping. Once we are inside, we get big screen over here and big tablet screen over there. There's also additional screen on the passenger side. I don't see much from the driver point of view, but it's nice for the passenger to see the screen. That one is 12.3 inch. This one is 15.6 inch. That one is 12.3 inch again. So everything is well designed through the panel, and you get gear select over here. This gear select is really cool. When you start the vehicle, this actually pops up. When you close it, it drops down. That's fancy. And another fancy thing is the cup holder. Notice this one is up and down on this, but don't worry, press this button, you can actually push this up. If you go off-road, it's bounce around, don't worry, push it all the way down. How cool is that? That's really good design. Opening the center console, you actually can get a proper freezer. Can you believe that? This goes hot and cool whenever you like. You can adjust it using the swivel adjustment. That's, again, premium. The seats material are really good, the steering material are really good. Some buttons, like a traditional BYD vehicles, on these parts, that's your self-driving or driving assistance package. On this part, volume control or dashboard control, where underneath you get all the different driving mode. This is the on-road driving mode, this is the off-road driving mode. We're going to go a rough seal around here just to test it, thanks to the really good salesperson we are dealing with today. And in terms of the screen, it's very good response. This is what you can expect from a BYD vehicle, and logic and all the things are similar, identical. You can click this to see all the information. We can click this to see all the vehicle driving data and things like that. Look at the screen response. That's so good. You can change the color of this, by the way. And we're gonna change to our driving color today and things like that. It's just premium. Wireless phone charging are over here. Some direct buttons are over here. Because this vehicle is the top spec with the union platform or suspension, you can get this up and down, and some direct buttons again, HEV and EV, since this is a proper plug-in hybrid driving vehicle. Underneath, big storage console with some USB charging and your perfume as well. You can get air freshener in this vehicle. Again, that's really cool. Let's go for drive. I can't wait to take it for off-road and on-road driving for you. Alright, we are good to go. Foot on the brake. The vehicle is already on. You do have the optional push button start if you want to use that, but otherwise these are pretty simple. Let's give it a go just to see how it's like on the off-road settings. So we get different energy information on the driving part. Let's test it on this rough seal. So obviously standard, these come with the four-wheel drive system, and here is very bouncy. You can see the vehicle handles it really well with its active chassis. And it's still very comfy, still very quiet on this road. It's supposed to be very rough, of course. So let's quickly go through some of the information about DMO. So BYD has this technology on different vehicles, but DMO is one of the first on this vehicle. It just means dual motor off-road ability. So dual motor means we actually get more than dual motor, to be fair. At the front, we get 1.5 liter petrol motor, turbocharged information. And then we get dual EV motor. At the front, a EV motor, at the back, an EV motor that allows the vehicle to drive on a very good off-road ability with its active four-wheel drive distribution. Combined power on this vehicle is 505 kilowatts of power. Can you believe that? I'll list all the single motors power down on the screen. It just means it's got tons of power on the road. It could be as fast as some of the G-Wagon, Mercedes AMG, if you want to really compare the total output. And from 0 to 100, this car goes around 4.6 to 4.8 seconds, tested by some other reviewers, if you want to use that. But driving on this surface, it's really easy for this car. We don't need to change any of the driving mode, to be fair, but you can use different driving modes over here. There are tons of them available if you want to use that. And in terms of on-road driving, we get 3 different drive modes: Eco, Normal, Sport. But for off-road, we get so many driving modes we can select. If I switch these buttons, you can do sand, you can do snow, you can also go out of it. That's really cool. So yeah, that's the cool part of it. You can do so many things and adjustments for this vehicle in terms of driving functions. And it's really relatively quiet in the cabin. It's just no noise at all. Since we are driving on the HEV, there's tons of power that's sending to the front and to the back. You can tell by the traction over there. If you need, it will change itself, right, by the way. Right now it's just, you can see it's driving on front only, and which is enough for this particular road. Another thing about this particular platform, the Union platform, it's only available on the highest spec. And in the future, I would say this will be available on all the other vehicles, including even the BYD Ute that's coming to overseas. Unfortunately, that BYD Ute may not be available in the Chinese market, but we hope to see it soon by end of this year or early next year through the New Zealand and Australian market. I believe they also come with a similar platform or in like a driving dynamics as this DMO, which has a 3-motor system, not just 2-motor, 3-motor system that's available on the all-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive version of this. And driving at low speed, you don't get any road noise or you don't get any motor noise at all, since the EV is perfectly enough to take on this road surface with its traction and all that things. Another small thing, the ground clearance on this vehicle standard range is 220 millimeters, but this Yunyan version, the top version, which you get adjustable suspension on this Yunyan platform, can stretch to 310 millimeters, so it could be really tall. That means the clearance and approaching angle, all that things, is superb for the size of this vehicle. Yep. And riding on this surface is no problem. I've seen a lot of extreme testings, and this vehicle has a sort of climbing angle up to about 45 degrees on some certain situations, and that's really impressive. No doubt most people do not need that, but it's useful if you do go hardcore off-roading in any situation like this. Alright, now the off-road is all done. Let's quickly test the acceleration on this one. The cool thing about this, you actually get a racing mode. You can only engage this while the vehicle is stationary. You can feel the bonnet actually drops a little bit as the suspension goes lower, as we are really ready to go. And the graphic and all that things is ready as well. I'll put the foot down all the way. 1, 2, 3. This is crazy. This is crazy level of acceleration. You can hear the whining noise and motor noise at the front as it's just going to full power for us. Whoa, this is a little bit scary as well for a big size vehicle like this. You can feel the nose actually popping up on top of that. That's impressive. Again, 0 to 100 Ks, these could reach about 4.6 to 4.8 seconds, and that's more than enough for what everyone daily use. Wow, just impressive. You can go off-road on this, you can go racing mode on this one as well. Now we're back to the normal mode that we can drive on the standard road just to see how this car is like driving a daily drive. As you'd imagine, it's really quiet. We're on HEV mode where we can still shift it to EV mode if you wish. The EV battery on this one is 31.8 kilowatts hour. That means WLTP range is untested, but CLTC range is around 125 kilometers on pure EV driving once it's fully charged. And it's more than enough for daily drive. Again, the majority of the motor actually use quite a lot of bit power. That means you won't get the maximum EV driving sort of range on this one. I don't think anyone needs more than that anyway. And acceleration, noise, everything on the EV mode is totally fine. The suspension is really soft. We are on the 20-inch big wheels, and this still drives okay. And riding on this surface, it's really easy. We can easily overtake anyone we want, and it's quiet. This car is really quiet for its capability and all that things. And suspension works really well. So that works effortlessly. Brakes is good, controlled. There is some sort of regenerative braking. That's totally fine. And handling, well, it's very light steering. You can adjust the steering to a sporty or stiffer steering adjustments if you need. But handlings are fine. It's very light. The steering quality is really good. It's on the chunky level. And we get a big heads-up display, which we didn't turn on in the test drive, but it's totally fine. Alright, we are good to go again. As this is going to be a fairly short video, it's not going to be a comprehensive. There's so many features that I won't be able to show you or demonstrate that for you in this short video. To name it, vehicle to load function is available, and in case you run on a full EV, the vehicle can use the petrol motor as a generator, staying stationary, to charge this particular EV as well. So that's again really cool. So yeah, there's tons of systematic features on this vehicle that's available throughout the vehicle. Plus, you get more than level 2 plus autonomous emergency driving or features assistance that's available on this vehicle. And stopping, starting in traffic, it's just really quiet. There's just barely any noise you can pick up from the motor, from the drivetrain. And the EV works effortlessly. On standard driving, you are getting most of it as front-wheel drive, but if you do drive aggressively or do go to the sport mode, it will just automatically change to a 4-wheel drive function, which is totally fun. And in terms of visibility, it's pretty good because the windscreen is large, the rear windscreen is large as well. The rear full-size spare does block some part of the view, but it's not too bad at all. I can see majority of the things around me. The ride comfort on the seats are just top-notch. You cannot expect anything better for a body-on-frame off-road ability vehicle like this. I would say overall the package is absolutely impressive. You can't beat this package with the same price range in China. In the Chinese market, the price of this top spec will only cost you around 350,000 Chinese yuan. And that's just impressive package. I hope this will eventually come to New Zealand, Australia for the right-hand drive in the future. And that will be really good for the market, as we definitely need this. We need a combination of pure EV, a plug-in hybrid to get you to both of the world. That's really efficient to go school runs. At the same time, this can go off-road when you go on weekends and things like that. I think this beats a lot of competitors on the market, and that's why this is becoming so popular in China as well. And that's pretty much the last part of this video. I hope you enjoyed the contents. If you do not forget to subscribe and like. That would be really helpful for the channel. As always, I'll see you next video.